Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here this week for episode 4 of what will be Banghead Financial. I'm, of course, Gregor Guy, joined here by Mr. Casey and Mr. Cuz. Obviously, we're going to do things slightly different this week due to the fact that all of the markets are down. So, due to global issues, we'll say. We're going to attempt, or not necessarily attempt, we're going to just have an open-ended discussion about what we are doing, ourselves to secure our financial future. Me, personally, if you've been watching, you obviously know I am, vested in crypto. And also on top of that, the relatively small investment that I have made in crypto is already larger than my 401k. So, I'm going to toss it over to you first, Mr. Casey. Let me know what you're doing to secure your future financially.
I think you want to focus on things that you
focus.
Yeah. Focus on things that you know and understand. I can say, for example, back when I was in the military, I kept on seeing this Velcro type tape like this, and I kept on seeing the word 3M on literally everything. Now, at the time, I was like, I should really put some money into that because I think it's going somewhere. I didn't. You can look where it is now. If you go to the store, everywhere you look, there's 3M something or other. Anything that has a sticky or a Velcro type thing, it's almost all 3M. Or 3M is at least the most popular of them. So you want to kick yourself on certain things that you see and know. And it's just stuff that's been obvious. I mean, once, for Google was take it off. You saw it and you knew that it was going to be big. But what did you do about it? Nothing. Most people did absolutely nothing, and you just missed the bus on it. Now, so things that I know, because I play a fair amount of video games, and I understand the value of digital objects at this point. So, I'm not saying I put all my eggs in the basket, because you should never do that. You should never put all your eggs in one basket. But
diversify.
Yeah. I've been looking into the different cryptos that have to do with
the metaverse gaming.
Well, metaverse gaming, digital items. There's been Axie Infinity, which is $120 per crypto coin, and right now, I think one of the newer ones is Sandbox, which is in the metaverse game. And
right, and you actually told me about this.
I saw it when I was younger, but I was younger. 4 or 5 months ago, six months ago, I saw it.
Well, technically you were younger.
I was younger. And I saw it just moving up and down, and it was somewhat predictable. And I bought it at 35 cents. I sold it at 79 cents, and then I didn't have it. And literally, it popped up to right now it's at $6.
I think we looked earlier. It was $6.58.
Yeah, so now it's at $6.58. So that's a lot of percentage higher than it was before. I don't remember exactly what percentage. And I missed out on that. I realized, but I do think it's something that's going to go up higher. It could actually rival Axie Infinity, which is sitting at $120 now.
Not financial advice. Do your own diligence.
Yeah, do your own diligence.
This video is for entertainment purposes only.
I do know for a fact, well, I don't really know for a fact, I know this through hearsay, that you have to buy Sandbox coins to buy property in the metaverse, probably in certain games. And I believe that Adidas bought 4 blocks within the game.
Yes, I believe I heard something about that too.
So it could become a thing where all these different companies are buying properties within the game to sell
and I believe in particular on the Sandbox and possibly even like Decentraland which trades under Mana I believe that they are attempting to put like digital stores
Right.
in these metaverse.
So let's just say, let's not just put all our eggs in one basket, like with Sandbox or Mana or Axe. Maybe we buy a little bit of each, and then maybe one of them takes off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of them takes off higher than the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you also know the reason that these metaverse coins are just way out there right now?
I think it's more.
It all started when Facebook rebranded to Meta.
Right. Which I'm not even on Facebook, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say that I'm an expert at any of it because I don't really want to live in a metaverse. I'd rather live in the real world with real people instead of fake, custom crereated people who people wish they were rather than really are.
Avatars.
Right.
In other words. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. But yes, I 100% agree. Always diversify your portfolio. Don't, as you said, hold all your eggs in one basket.
Put all your eggs.
Whatever. You understand.
Actually, I mean, technically, if you're like buying and holding like crypto, I mean, you're holding. Unless you're active.
Could you see crypto being the currency in the metaverse at some point in time?
I think it is.
It already is.
Yeah.
Is it?
Okay, let's just take like Sandbox, for instance. You have to buy sand,
right,
which is the coin of Sandbox,
okay,
in order to purchase lands
right
in the metaverse.
They use
so the shops.
So okay, yeah, and then you will probably, I would assume, conduct transactions via sand with these online digital stores, if it all works how they're saying it's going to work.
Right.
That's the big question. And on top of that, Sandbox, it's technically, they call it a game.
Right.
And everything, but it's also not even out to the public yet. Which is really crazy to think about.
Right.
So.
Wait and see.
Yeah, wait and see. I mean, me personally, I went in. Okay, this is what I did. I put $7,500 into various, crypto projects. One of the main ones that I did was I put $4,000 into CRO to get this bad boy right there. Which, if you don't know, that is the indigo. Well, there might be a video coming out on that here shortly. But anyway, and that's when it was like 12 cents. So I got like a decent amount of the Zero tokens. And that also skyrocketed with, obviously, Crypto.com getting the naming rights for the Staples Center, starting on Christmas.
Well, I guess it's not the Staples Center anymore.
Starting Christmas.
Starting Christmas, right.
December 25th. Yes, it will now be the Crypto.com Arena, I think is the
Arena?
tentative name. But I mean, think about it. That's one of the most famous, sporting facilities in America. That's huge. It was like it was something silly. It was like a $700 million.
You got the Lakers, you got the Clippers, you got the Kings. Are the Kings in there?
Yeah, Kings play there. Concerts.
Yep.
I mean, it's a lot of brand recognition, and I believe that that's going to lead to further adoption. So,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Coinbase Arena or.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they have one, but yeah, I mean, it's probably coming soon.
Right.
Don't be surprised.
Yeah,
they're all trying to compete
now.
And then you would think that, I mean, the amount of money that these digital companies, Google and Facebook, I'm completely surprised that none of them have the naming rights to an arena at this point either.
I would venture to say that that's because they probably don't realistically care about sports.
Well, I do know
at this point in time, do they really need the advertisement?
I do know the owner of the LA Clippers is one of the founders of Microsoft. And one of the richest men in the country owns Carolina Panthers, I believe. And I believe he is a mogul from, I don't remember which company, but I know he's involved in
one of the tech companies.
Right.
We'll just say. Fair enough. Yeah. You got anything you want to?
I still think that gold and stuff is going to be valuable, but you would probably use crypto at some point in time if it keeps going the way it is. So the USD is going to go away, but you still need those valuable resources. So the stock market is going to be there in some way, shape, or form.
Possibly.
But how they're going to do it is, I'm curious to see how they do it. Because if the USD goes away,
well, they'll just digitalize it, realistically.
yeah. Well, it kind of is now.
I mean,
Most people don't carry cash.
to an extent, but they still keep printing money.
Well, you think it also, if these, a lot of governments are trying to globalize, they're trying to, get rid of all borders and stuff like that. And if all of this in the future continues, then currencies like the U.S. dollar or the euro or the yen or all that, they're gonna, what are they actually gonna mean? They're gonna have to create a global currency. And I believe that the global currency will be in some form or another, some kind of crypto.
No, it'd be some sort of digital asset.
Right.
To an extent. But also, at the same point in time, think about this. The advantage of that, okay, let's say you make let's just say a transaction, from the United States to, let's just say some country in Europe. Doesn't really matter what one. You need to wait for the bank to verify that transaction. Versus if you just, sent payment via crypto, it's like almost instantaneous.
Right.
So, I mean, it cuts out like a lot of the middlemen and various fees and whatnot that the banks charge for these things. So, I mean, that's realistically why it's basically a super scary proposition for them, for the crypto in particular, to actually become a usable item and adopted by the masses.
I mean, it already is a usable item, but it's not technically adopted by the masses. But there's quite. I mean, I would have to say that I think the percentage is like 16% of Americans own some type of cryptocurrency at this time. So I mean, 10%, maybe 10 to 16%, almost 20% of people within the last couple of years have at least invested in some type of cryptocurrency, and probably growing at a large rate, I would say.
Yeah, unless they panic sold. But
and also, Tom Brady, that football he threw was I think it was his 200th touchdown.
600th.
600. Oh, okay, I'm way off.
Is everyone doing this?
You
did this a couple weeks ago.
What do you mean?
He was like 300 touchdown passes,
Yeah.
600.
No, I don't fucking.
600 touchdown
It shows you how much
Yeah.
I pay attention to the stats or whatever. But he exchanged a real football for one Bitcoin, which is what Bitcoin, like 65,000, 70,000, something like that.
Well, right, as of today, as of this recording, I think it's right around like 55.5.
Okay,
But
didn't it reach?
Yeah, I mean, its all-time high was like 69,000
Okay,
at this point. But
So I mean, either way,
slightly
a football for
Bitcoin's
600
on
passes.
sale today, boys.
Which, by the way, he probably could have sold the football straight up for like maybe $100,000. But a Bitcoin, he took a Bitcoin.
Yeah,
He got good.
I would too.
Yeah, good faith with Tom Brady and the Buccaneers team and the other fans.
Well, on top of that, did you hear about all the other stuff he got?
Oh, I'm sure he got.
Like, he got a couple, like, Tom Brady gave him, like, some signed jerseys.
Right.
He had the guy who caught the football, I can't remember his name. I want to say Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike
Gave
Evans.
him his game jersey signed.
Okay.
And then on top of that, the team gave him season tickets.
So you
Season tickets, $1,000 for their team store. He got a whole lot of shit other than
so,
just this one
you think
Bitcoin.
he got over $100,000 worth of items? Do you think?
Oh, well, okay. If he holds on to that Bitcoin for about another 4 or 5 years,
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that if and when Ethereum takes off, do you think it's going to drive Bitcoin down, or do you think Bitcoin's still going to rise?
Well, number one, Ethereum is already well off the ground. Ethereum is the number 2
right.
market cap.
What I'm saying is, the higher Ethereum grows, do you think it's going to lessen the value of Bitcoin?
No. No, because Bitcoin and Ethereum do 2 separate things.
Okay.
You know, Bitcoin, think about Bitcoin is a digital store of value. Okay? It's basically like, you know, let's say you bought gold 20 years ago or something. You know, yeah, I'm not sure what the price was, but it's a store of value, and you have to physically hold it. You know, Bitcoin kind of is kind of something similar, and it's not not as susceptible to inflation because there's only 21 million that are ever going to be produced.
Right.
So there is a finite supply. Now, Ethereum, on the other, you know, foot, is a network which has, you know, like applications, exchanges, marketplaces, different stuff built on the network, and it uses the network. So it's kind of like they really have or are 2 totally like separate entities that are trying to do 2 totally separate things.
But they're similar.
I do know
Well,
that.
I mean, the only real similarity is they're both cryptocurrencies.
Right.
That's about it.
I do know that Sandbox is part of the Ethereum network.
Yes, I do believe it is on the ERC.
And another thing, last night I went to go look up on how to mine Ethereum, and the explanation that it gave was that in order to mine Ethereum, you had to solve complicated
Algorithm?
puzzles. The way they put it was puzzles, and and they said that you would generally work in a pool of other people, and it would also use your computer processing power along with everybody else's in that pool's
Right.
computer processing power.
But also you don't have to like physically like do like math and shit. You know, you let the computer do it
So
for
the
you.
so the computer's doing it for you. And I did see that if you wanted to do it solo, you would have to have multiple PCs. So in order to professionally do it solo, you would have to have multiple computers to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand a whole lot about, you know, the whole mining aspect, but, you know, if anyone's out there who is a miner, you know, make sure, reach out, because I have questions. So, anything else?
No,
Anything
I'm
else?
good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on a very different episode of Banghead Financial. This will be episode 4. I'm, of course, Greg Guy, depending upon how you know me, joined here by Mr. Cuz and Mr. Casey.